Nice to see you again. Good to have you back on the show.
Great to be on here, brother. Thanks for having me.
Hundreds of rockets have now been launched by both sides. Literally, it's getting worse every single day. They're several hours ahead of us there. Many of these rockets have made direct hits on buildings and cars. The death toll is continuing to go up. At what point does the Biden administration need to step in here or to at least, do something more than talking?
I don't know. I think that time has passed. I think it's showing his lack of leadership. You've never been over there. Israel is such a small little country,
right,
and it's surrounded by folks that are not friendly towards it. And I think it's very gutless for Hamas or anybody else to target population centers with children and elderly, and that's clearly what's going on. These aren't military targets, and it's a disgrace. And then when you turn around and Hamas apparently is putting their missile sites in populated areas. And so obviously when Israel fires over there, civilians are going to get killed. It's a bad situation all the way around. Clearly the leadership needs to step up and do something, though.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. You tweeted this out yesterday, and I thought this was pretty poignant. Our ally Israel always has the right to defend itself from terrorism. Hamas must end its gutless targeting of civilian population centers. I pray for calm in that region. And that's what, for people that haven't been in that area, they are living with this every single day, literally rockets and missiles, flying overhead. And it's scary. It's really scary. And this is everyday life for people that live in Jerusalem. This happens all the time.
Absolutely. You see teachers armed with automatic weapons. You see students wearing bomb gear to school. They have bomb shelters everywhere. I mean, you're right. It's just every day to day, and it's on both sides of it. Everybody is ready for it, but it doesn't make it any better when you see some kid laid out on a stretcher.
My goodness, absolutely. We've got a shot of Gaza right now. Congressman, things appear to be fairly calm there right now, but we're keeping an eye on what's happening, and it seems to be overnight when places like Tel Aviv are absolutely bombarded. I want to switch gears and talk a little bit about John Kerry. He's been on something I would love to do this, by the way, a government-funded world tour on private jets, or at the very least flying first class. This is our climate envoy, Climate Czar, the senator and failed presidential candidate from the state of Massachusetts, John Kerry. What is going on here?
Nobody really knows. He has 40 employees that work for him. We're trying to figure out what the heck he actually does,
right,
other than fly jet set and meet with communist Chinese leaders. He's over there trying to cut a deal with the Chinese. They have brutalized the Uyghur population, a Muslim group in China, and yet they're going to play ball with them. And every time they do this, it's just like the Iranian deal. They cut a deal, and the American taxpayers end up holding the bag. They're going to cut a deal and cut our industry off, and then they're going to turn around and say, "Oh, look at all the great things we've done." And in fact, all they've done is made the playing field incredibly uneven for Americans, and it's a disgrace, really.
Yeah, look, if you want to have an electric car, I'm all for it. John Kerry, former Secretary of State under former President Barack Obama, why is he not more concerned with figuring out exactly where the coronavirus came from if he's got such a close relationship with the CCP and the folks over there in Beijing?
Well, I think it goes straight to the top. I don't think our president is drilled in. I don't think he's connected. I don't think he's with it. I think people really are going to have to take a look at that, because this is very evident right now. When his own press secretary is talking about a pipeline being cut off and the environmental advantages, well, yeah, nobody's going to be burning gasoline because nobody can get fuel for their cars. It's the most ridiculous thing, and they're being allowed to do it, and they're asleep at the switch, and nobody is running the show. It's a dangerous situation.
Yeah, and no, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say from the border situation to elsewhere. They start talking about the border, and then they run up to Canada. I mean, it doesn't.
It blows my mind. Quick question. We are out of time, but I want to ask you this. That we've had this crisis on the border now really since late January. He signed that executive order January 20th. I think what's happening, there's not more outrage. MSNBC and CNN aren't touching this. They're not accurately reporting what's going on. No. But I think the American people are seeing so many images of people crossing the Rio Grande and whatever. I think they're desensitized at this point. Do you think that's part of the problem?
100%. It's just like that frog you throw in boiling water. You throw it in boiling water, it jumps out. You throw it in cold water and gradually turn up the Bunsen burners, it'll boil itself to death. And that's what the American public does. We just get desensitized with all this information, and you're correct. And the so-called major media, which nobody pays any attention to anymore,
right,
they're too busy patting themselves. Yeah, except for Newsmax. All they do is pat themselves on the back.
That's right. Yeah, it's like the gaslighting of the American people. In 50 days, by the way, Kamala Harris has yet to go to the border. Congressman, we got to leave it there. Great to see you again, as always.
Thank you, brother. Nice tie.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. We'll see you soon.